Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew.
I'm Matt.
I'm Lauren.
I'm Joel.
I'm Grandpa.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Aunt Becky. I'm Megan.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys.
And girls.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. Good morning. How are you today? Good. We just got the farm market set up and cleaned. The boys got the animals finished and they just finished off some breakfast. How was your breakfast this morning?
It was a bagel, then a sausage patty, then an egg, then a layer of cheese, then bacon, then another layer of bagel. And that was the Danny special.
It needed 2 sausage patties, not 1.
The boys are having a good morning, especially when it comes to breakfast. Out in front of the farm market today, we have plenty of vegetables to sell. We brought some new stuff up. Well, not new, but some younger seedings of lettuce. They're looking really nice. All of the first stuff that we seeded here on the farm is completely gone. We do have a lot of nice stuff, but it's gonna be going fast because at this time, it's like a perfect opportunity for people to start planting. The only thing that hasn't been taken care of yet today for the animals is the calves, and the eggs need to be collected. Now here on the farm today, we do have a cloudy day and I am starting to feel some mist hitting me in the face. We are expecting rain, but there's a few things we want to try and get accomplished before the rain. We're just hoping that the rain holds out because, well, we don't want to plant in the rain again. One of the big jobs we need to get accomplished today before the rain is actually get some of our tomatoes transplanted. We have some sale tomatoes that are getting really, really tall. And the funny thing about plants is when they start to get really tall like this, they get something called root bound. Now let's see if I can just get one out here. These aren't too bad yet. Well, I picked up a smaller plant too. But it'll get to the point where there's almost more roots than there is soil there. Now these plants look really good and eventually we'd be able to sell them. However, we were looking at the forecast for the upcoming week and we're going to experience a warmer than normal week, and that doesn't make taking care of these plants in the greenhouse fun. As these plants become root bound and there is more roots than there is soil, you run the risk of your plants drying out and dying easily on you. There's not enough soil in the packs to soak up the water so that the roots can pull the water from them, and you end up having to water 3 or 4 times a day. And you guys see how busy we are, we don't have time for that. So instead of dealing with the headaches of having to water everything, we're taking some of these tomatoes and we're actually gonna plant them out in the fields ourselves. And we wanna do something now about it because our next week of work coming up, it's gonna be a hot one. And if we have all those plants in there, it's gonna be stressful too. Before I can get the plants ready to go, Dad just got back from the wholesaler, so I'm gonna run up here and help him unload.
5 apple crab. Okay, so
5.
Is that all she has? That's all that's in here. Okay.
10, 15. Becky,
Yeah.
19 zucchini. We got all finished taking care of everything that came from the wholesaler. Now I'm back down in greenhouse number 4. Remember, these are the tomatoes that we're gonna be transplanting today. Only there's a little bit of an issue with these tomatoes. They're in these packs and we have all these tags. So what we're actually gonna be doing is transferring tomatoes from these packs and taking out all these tags and putting them into these crates. That way it's gonna be easier to transplant and we can save these tags and the trays. Something I will say, these plants are gorgeous. Look at these tomatoes. We end up doing this with at least 1 crop every year. I believe last year it was like cabbage and broccoli, but this year we have a few extra tomato plants. And it's just, as I mentioned before, I don't think we're gonna be able to sell them all. So rather than just letting them grow up and getting to the point where we can't use them, we thought to ourselves, might as well plant them ourselves, you know? Get something out of them. I believe like one of the varieties is like a 65 day, one is like a 72 day, and then we got another 78 day variety. And the whole reason behind that is to just try and make sure that they don't all ripen at the same time. Because when everything ripens at the same time, that's stressful. And right there is all of the tomatoes from the sales broken down and into these crates. This is gonna make it a lot easier on us transplanting. Excuse me. Oh, whoa. Black eggplant, striped eggplant. I just realized they hooked the water wheel transplanter up to the TS6.
Red. What kind do you have? Red Deuce? In my opinion, that has the best horn on it.
Drove the forklift down the road. That's kind of fun. We are all ready to get planting. All we have to do is get on the machine, and we're good to go.
We may need to adjust this.
We just got the poblanos transplanted, and now we're moving over to the sweet pepper side. We have a few trays of bell peppers that we need to plant over on the sweet pepper side. And just like that, we got the bell peppers transplanted. I was trying to set the camera up to record, but it kept falling off the machine. I was getting frustrated, so I was like, I'm just planting the peppers. White. We finished off with peppers, and now we are moving on to eggplant. Now we plant eggplant with a single wheel, the same as the tomatoes, the pickling cucumbers, and things like that. So we had to remove the second wheel, and we're putting the single wheel back on.
You can speed up, Brian. Yep.
We just finished off the black eggplant. Now we're moving on to striped. Then we're gonna be planting some white eggplant and then finishing off with Italian eggplant. Not too much has changed. We've just been doing the same thing. We are planting a little faster because it is the single row now, which makes things go really, really quickly. And all the plants look great. Eggplant is all finished. We just loaded the tomatoes up onto the machine. Now, one thing Joel and I have to keep a close eye on, and probably something you don't think about, is that we don't get our varieties mixed up. So we have each of these crates full of certain varieties, and Joel and I, while we're planting, we have to keep that in mind so that we don't get everything mixed up. And it's not easy, Joel, is it? Tell them it's difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah, see? Joel knows.
We have a lot more to plant here, son. We are the Veggie Boys.
And the only thing preventing us from planting right now is we're waiting for our water tank to fill back up. There's drama right now. Joel, tell them what the drama is.
The problem was that the hole was blocked, so I had to get a screwdriver and stick it inside to open up the valve more to let all the water flow. But the problem is that set us back, and now it's lunchtime.
I gave them an option. Stay and plant, or go home and eat lunch and plant after lunch in the rain. They chose rain.
We're hoping the rain's gonna hold off. By the time we're done with our next round, it's gonna be like 12:45. So we kind of want to get some lunch.
I'm just scared of what Grammy will do if we're late.
I'm more worried about Matt eating everything.
Just got the machine all filled up with water, and now we're heading home to get our lunch. Hey, we're watching the news in there, and I didn't want to talk about what we were having for lunch, but we're having, I think, like taco salad bowls. Looks good. What are you doing there?
Grammy made pie.
We are now back out in the field. It has started drizzling a little bit, but that's okay. Joel had some cherry pie. I had some cherry pie. Ready to plant some tomatoes.
It's just nonsense around here. Rule number 1, figure out what brand you're planting. Primo Red, people. Primo Red is what we're planting. Rule number 2, make sure you're with somebody who knows what they're doing.
I'm here.
Rule number 3, Drop the planter, turn on the water. Rule number 4 is plant. Told my wife that when we harvest wheat, summer's half over. And she said, spring didn't even start yet. I said, I know, and laughed.
Will you stop giggling?
What the heck does feeling good for my head tomatoes mean? And you're like, tomatoes? I'm like, what? Goose.
Just got our tomatoes finished. Now we've got to head back to the truck and load back up with more plants. We are now on to our last planting of tomatoes, and then we should be finished up, which is good because the mountain just disappeared, which means storms are coming. That's where the storms are coming from. There used to be a mountain. See, the mountain goes to right there and then stops. And I have to drive the forklift home, so I'm really hoping it's not raining. We just got finished planting tomatoes. It's starting to rain. We're on our way home. Ready to head back to the farm. I'm just gonna take this off so we don't break it. But I'm gonna take the water tank back. Got all of our plastics that we brought, but no plants because they're all in the field. I think that Joel is a wise guy. What do you guys think? A real piece of work. Since the weather has changed up quite a bit, we're moving on to a different job. All of these boxes right here are called Pro boxes. They are full of seed when they arrive. Right now, the ones we're dealing with are empty. Now, these bins take up a lot of space, but there is a way to shrink them so they don't take up as much space, which is what we're gonna be working on. And now that these are broken down, it's a lot easier to stack them up, and you can stack them up a little bit higher. We got all of those bins that were in front of the truck broken down. I moved the truck to get to all of the bins that we have back here. These were the last 2 bins that we needed to close up. Daniel came and helped us a little bit, so now we're all finished working in the shop. After we got done putting all those boxes away, there wasn't too much going on. After that, we worked in the farm market for quite a while, just helping out customers, making sure everybody has the plants they need, and we just got the farm market closed up and we're going to the house. Is someone eating their dinner? Can I have some? Well, Callie is enjoying her dinner, and that's the only person, because it's date night. And since it's date night, you know what that means. This is where we're gonna be ending the video. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.